everybody, Howard here with a cool way to combine licks with chords, preferably bar chords, but I'll be using a couple of open position chords as well. And what I'll be doing is showing you three different ways to play off of any given chord, all right? So you'll have three paths that you can travel to come up with some cool improvisation or maybe work it out, compose it, whatever you like. I'll be using cool pentatonic tricks from my previous lesson. I'll be using double stops and also just getting into some Hendrix type stuff, okay? First of all, let's look at a simple G major chord, a bar chord. Okay, within that chord lives the G major scale, of course, right? So what you can do is you hold the chord down, bring your pinky down to the first string at the 5th fret, then take it off so you're sounding the 3rd fret, then go to the next string, do the same thing, and then finally the 3rd string, and of course you'll sound that note off of the G string. Now you can do a lot with just that simple idea. You can do hammer-ons, you can do pull-offs, you can do combinations. Anything you can think of right within the shape of that chord. So that's how you do it off of a major bar chord off of the 6th string, okay? So let's talk about a minor bar chord off of the 6th string. Let's take an A minor this time. Now, just like the G major chord, the A minor pentatonic scale lives right within that chord, right underneath it, however you want to look at it. 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 7 to 5, 7 to 5, 7 to 5, and 8 to 5. So, just like you did with the G chord, you can simply release your pinky and use it to decorate the chord. And again, you can do hammer-ons, pull-offs, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do within the chord is going to sound really good. So backing up just a hair, off of major chords, off of minor chords. Okay, so let's talk about another way that you can play off of, say, a G major chord again, off of the 6th string. You can run the major pentatonic scale, and that gives you a little lead lick or a little flavor that you can add to it. Kind of nice, right? And I covered this in my cool pentatonic tricks that every guitar player should know, so I'll put a link to that in the description box below, as well as my double stops lesson, because we'll be talking about that as well. But let's get back to this pattern. It's really, really simple. You start from the root note of the chord, which is G, and we play all whole steps here. So I'm playing 3, 5, 7, and then on the next string I'm playing 5 to 7. That's the shape, that's the pattern. 3 notes on this string, 2 notes on the next, drop to the 5th fret on the D string, 3 notes again, 2 notes on the G string, and you can keep traveling like that if you want to. 8th fret on the B string, 3 notes, 2 notes. That's the pattern. And you can add that to the chord anywhere you want. You can just jump off and get into the scale. And it always sounds quite nice because it's the perfect addition to the chord, right? And the other thing that you can employ is double stops. Again, I'll put a link to that lesson as well, simply because both of those lessons take a deeper dive than what I'm doing here. This is sort of an overall combining of these different thoughts and ideas, okay? So once again, going back to the G chord, take all of your fingers off except for the 2nd finger. You can see that right inside the chord. Lay your 1st finger down on the 3rd fret on the 1st string. Play these notes individually or with hybrid picking, playing it at the same time. And so you're playing 3 and 4. Now we want to play 5 and 5, and then 7 and 7. That's another way to decorate the chord. can see when you start combining all this stuff together, once again, it's a three-way highway. And you can just decorate, embellishing in different ways. So let's talk about these same ideas off of the fifth string, off of the A string. So let's say we have a simple C major bar chord. The most common thing to do is you can add your pinky to the 6th fret on the B string so that you get a sus4. But there's so much more that you can do than that, okay? So there's a couple of ways to look at this. First and foremost, look at that major pentatonic scaling. And again, start with the root. Play 3 notes. So I played 3, 5, 7. Go to the next string on the 5th fret and play 5 to 7. Then go to the next string, the G string, and play 5, 7, 9. And then the 8th fret on the B string. And then 8, 10, 12 on the E string. That's a C major pentatonic scale. Sounds great. Now, what you can also do is invert the chord. We've got a C chord, which is a C, a G, a C, and another E. Simply bar with your first finger at the 5th fret, and you can bar across all 5 strings, and then place your ring finger on the 7th fret on the A string. Now we have an inverted C chord with the E in the bass. Now, if you bar just like you did with the A minor chord, you can use that same minor pentatonic scale, which is the relative minor to C major and vice versa, right? So that kind of opens things up a little bit where you can decorate by letting different strings ring through. Right? Just by adding those simple embellishments. And you can also play off of the double stops, okay? So let's say we've got that same C major chord. And what you want to do is find your C note on the B string and then play the 2nd fret on the D string. So an easy way to visualize that if you don't know all the notes on the fretboard is just go a whole step down, whole step to your left, drop down to the B string, okay, at the 1st fret, add your 2nd finger to the 2nd fret on the D string, and now we have that same double stop pattern. So it's so it's 1 and 2, 3 and 3, and 5 and 5. Just by mixing these various ideas up. It's really wonderful, and you can get really acquainted with it where it's super comfortable and you can just kind of improvise around with it if you want to. So now let's talk about minor chords off of the 6th string, okay? So let's take a D minor, and this is really simple. Again, release your pinky and just play. And the chord will dictate the notes that happen when you release your pinky, right? So you can think of that same pentatonic scale if you want to, but of course it'll be slightly different because of, so you're really getting into D minor. So when you get these things going, again, combining them together, it's really quite nice. Just move your fingers around, right? It's really cool stuff and it's fun to play. So let's talk briefly about playing double stops off of minor chords. So let's say we've got that A minor chord again. And the minor third of the chord lives at the 5th fret on the G string, just like the major third lived on the 4th fret for the G major chord. Okay? So what we want to do, this is just a reverse pattern, so to speak, visually. We want to fret the 5th fret on the G string, come combined with the 5th fret on the E string. Then we take that up a whole step, and then we play this shape again, the 8th fret on the 1st E string and the 9th fret on the G string. So that's how you would play double stops off of that chord, and you can combine that with the other things that we've employed so far. Again, just combining these various ideas together, okay? So hopefully you've got some good stuff to work with here, and so what I'll do is roll the original demo from the beginning of the video with the complete tab on the screen in real time. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and all the best to everyone, and I shall see you in the next lesson.